Doing one short lecture starting right now. Let's go. Yeah, she is coming. Someone came, that's why the volume changed suddenly. Okay. Now, first we'll start with the basic family which all of you are aware. All of you are aware with the first basic family. That is your Legumineaceae, also called as Fabaceae. Legumineaceae, also called as Fabaceae. Yes or no, all of you? This chapter, this particular family was already there. Habitat, tree, shrubs, herbs, all three are possible. Okay. Presence of root nodules. Students, tell me, all the way from the class 10th, haven't you been studying that leguminous plants have root nodules? Yes or no? Tell me, everyone in the chat, that leguminous plants, in the roots there is something called as root nodules, and with the help of these root nodules, plants can do something called as nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen fixation is happening with the help of root nodules. So this point is very important. So all of you, nitrogen fixation in the chat. Type, everyone, type. I want everyone to be active today. Okay. Now, stem is erect or climbing. You might have seen the pea plant. Pea plant is a little bit of climber. Okay. Now here, I'll tell you exactly what you need to remember. The first point which you need to remember is the root. That is presence of root nodules. The next thing which you need to remember here is something called as pulvinous leaf base. Now, if you remember the morphology of flowering plants chapter, in that chapter I told you, the leaf base gets swollen. That is called as pulvinous. That is swollen leaf base. It is called as what? Swollen leaf base. That is called as pulvinous leaf base. One example is given here. Pisum sativum, also called as your pea plant. Clear, students? So here, from the first slide, you need to remember the root nodules. You need to also remember the pulvinous leaf base. Okay, done. The next thing which you need to remember, and all of you also know this, that is the inflorescence. That is racemose inflorescence as well as zygomorphic flower. Now, can anyone in the chat tell me what is zygomorphic flower? Can I cut the zygomorphic flower into two equal half in only one plane? Yes. For example, this flower right here, this flower can be cut into two equal half on a single plane. That is called as zygomorphic flower. Now, students, if you remember the examples of zygomorphic flower given in your syllabus, examples from the chapter Morphology of Flowering Plants, quickly tell me the examples of zygomorphic. See, if you remember the example of zygomorphic, it is pea, bean, gulmohar and cassia. Pea, bean, gulmohar and cassia belong to your Legumineaceae. Same. So all of you know this. Zygomorphic flower. Now, calyx is 5 united. The unique meaning of united is gamosepalous. Gamo means fuse, sepalous. Okay. Now here, one more point which I want everyone to remember. Here is the corolla. Very special corolla, students. And all of you also know this. You learn this something called as papilionaceous corolla. The other name of papilionaceous corolla, it is also called as vexillary estivation. How many of you remember? Raise your hands. How many of you remember vexillary estivation? Raise your hands right now. All of you, raise your hands. How many of you remember vexillary estivation? In vexillary estivation, we have three different types of petals. Okay. All of you are aware that there is something called as standard, then we have wing, and then we have a keel. Standard, wing and keel. This is your standard. And then we have the wing, and we also have the keel. And the arrangement here is 1 plus 2 and plus 2 which are fused. So all of you remember the papilionaceous corolla which is found in the case of your Legumineaceae, also called as Fabaceae. Now students, see, all of you remember this. Okay. Now I'll tell you one more thing. Let's see how many of you remember. How many of you remember? Tell me how many of you remember something called as Adolphus condition. Adolphus condition means the fusion of filaments. Adolphus condition is fusion of filaments. There is something called as monoadolphus, China rose, diadolphus and polyadolphus, citrus, example citrus plants. And if you remember students, under diadolphus condition, what was the example? How many of you remember? Tell me quickly, raise your hands. How many of you remember the example of diadolphus condition? It was pea plant. It was pea plant, diadolphus condition. So, pea family. So, diadolphus condition. So, what is diadolphus condition, students? Diadolphus condition is a condition where filaments are joined. Filaments are joined in two separate bundles. For example, if I have 10 stamen here, or 10 filaments, that is 9 is fused into one bundle and 1 is alone and single. Okay, so 9 plus 1 condition, that is diadolphus condition. You should remember this. Now, under gynoecium students, main thing which you need to remember here is single carpel, superior ovary, you can remember. But how many of you remember the example? How many of you remember the example of marginal placentation given in your NCERT? Raise your hands quickly. How many of you remember? If you remember, right, marginal placentation, pea plant. So whatever examples you have learnt in your chapter, same thing is given here. Okay, that is your marginal placentation, pea plant. Okay, pea plant. Now students, I'll make you write a few points like a summary for whatever you learned right now. Okay, for Fabaceae, for your Fabaceae students, also called as Legumineaceae. First thing, tell me students, was there any change in root nodules? Was there something special about root nodules, students? Tell me. Yes. In root, there was something called as root nodules. We learnt about root nodules. Which help in nitrogen fixation. Done. Then students, in the case of leaf, was there anything special? Was there any special? Yes. In the case of leaves, we saw that there was pulvinous leaf base. Okay. Tell me, what was the symmetry, students? Symmetry was zygomorphic. These are the points where the question will be asked. Example was, students? Example in your NCERT, tell me. We have pea, bean. Then we also have your gulmohar and cassia. We have gulmohar and cassia. Okay, pea, bean, gulmohar and cassia. How was the corolla, students? Vexillary estivation. In vexillary estivation, what did we study? We studied the 1 plus 2 plus 2 arrangement. Okay, that is standard, wing and keel as keel. Okay, then we learnt about the stamen arrangement, students. Tell me, how was stamen arrangement? Mono, di, poly. Tell me quickly in the chat. We learnt about diadolphus condition. That was basically 10 stamen, that is 9 plus 1 condition. How was the placentation? Placentation was marginal placentation. Students, out of all the following points, these points are extra special. You need to remember them. These are the extra special points. Done. So I'll give a small recap again. We learned that nitrogen fixation roots, pulvinous leaf base, alternate phyllotaxy, pinnately compound leaf. This you can remember. That is not much difficulty. Zygomorphic, calyx is 5 united, corolla is 5 polypetalous. Okay, papilinaceous corolla, done. Androecium, gynoecium. Apart from that, you also need to remember the floral formula, very important. And I have always told you a trick. I have always told you that trick to remember the floral formula, how to identify floral formula. Every single plant family can be identified with the help of floral formula when you look at the androecium, especially the androecium. Okay. Now, for example here, example in your this family, if you look at the floral formula, zygomorphic, bisexual, calyx 5 fused, corolla, papilinaceous 1 plus 2 plus 2. Look at the androecium, 9 plus 1 arrangement, that is diadalphous condition, superior ovary, monocarpillary, superior ovary. So this is your entire floral diagram or floral formula for Fabaceae. This is your floral diagram also, floral diagram. So with that, your Fabaceae is almost over, but you need to remember the economic importance. See, pulses, gram, R, C, moong, soybean, edible oil we get, right? Sunflower, we get your soybean oil, groundnut oil. We also use some dye, that is indigofera, fibers, fodder, ornament, medicine. So in examination, they can ask you directly the question from the economic importance also. And with that, the first family is over. All of you will remember this, right? This is your small short notes for the family. With that, Fabaceae is over. Download these notes, write your own notes from these notes, solve the questions given in your description. I will show it to you, and you're good to go with the plant families. Now, the next family is called as Malvaceae. Okay. Now tell me, students, how many of you love chocolates? Quickly raise your hands. How many of you love chocolates? And also tell me, which is your favorite chocolate? Also, tell me in the chat, which is your favorite chocolate? Quickly. See, my favorite chocolate is Reese's. I also love Dairy Milk also. Dairy Milk is evergreen. I love Dairy Milk. Silk is my favorite. Love it. Okay, love it. Now students, where does the chocolate come from? Have you ever thought of it? Where does the chocolates come from? Like, what is the origin of chocolates? Do we manufacture them with the help of chemicals? No. The chocolates are actually coming from a plant called as coca, also called as Theobroma coca. And this plant called as Theobroma coca belongs to the family called as Malvaceae. So Malvaceae is also called as your chocolate family. Also your lady's finger, hibiscus, China rose. All of these plants belong to your Malvaceae. Where we have the chocolate also, the Theobroma coca. Okay. So habitat, the plant may be herb, shrub or tree, same thing. Here they will not ask you much questions, but here I want everyone to remember, since it's a dicot, taproot is going to be there. Now here students, how many of you have ever cut lady's finger in your life? Not an actual lady's finger, the vegetable or the fruit technically. How many of you have tried cutting the that is the lady's finger in your life? If you have tried cutting lady's finger in your life, like try to make the pali out of it or sabji, okay, have you noticed that lady's finger is little slimy? How many of you have observed that? When you cut the lady's finger or when you're eating it also, do you feel that small slimy nature of it? Also called as the mucilage part of it. You might have seen that. Yes. That is because students, in the Malvaceae, not just the fruit, even the stem, students, even the stem has the mucilage sacs. If you have noticed it, you know. Don't lie here, don't lie. It has mucilage sac. Okay, mucilage sacs. The leaves are simple, alternate, round, stipulate. Mucilage sac is also present in the leaf. Okay, in the leaf also. Now students, first point we need to remember here is under Malvaceae, mucilage sac, also called as slimy nature. Okay. The next thing which you need to remember here is the flower. That is, the flower is cymose type, very rarely racemose type, but also axillary terminal. Then which is correct here? Students? Which is correct? Students, in your chemistry, you have exceptions, right? You have exceptions. In biology also we have certain exceptions. See, when I talk about a family of a plant, it will have a variety of plants. And there is a very high chance that a particular family, in a family itself, one flower will show different inflorescence, one flower will show different inflorescence. So all of these are technically correct. But if this is technically correct, NTA will never ask you this, because NTA doesn't want to risk, or unless NTA is a little cuckoo. Okay, so all three are correct, because you might have seen, students, hibiscus, you might have seen it is growing terminally. You will never see hibiscus in an entire bunch. One inflorescence of hibiscus you will never see. Hibiscus will always be solitary sign. It will be very solitary. Okay, hibiscus. Now, the flowers are usually pedicellate or bracteolate. New term, no? New term for all of you. New term. Understand? See, all of you know what is a bract. All of you are aware what is a bract. Bract is a leaf-like structure present at the bottom of pedicel. For example, students, this is a pedicel, stalk of a flower, pedicel. Here I have let's say I have a flower here. At the base of the stalk, we will see some leaf-like structure. That is called as bract. Here we have calyx. Calyx, bract. All of you know what is bract. Then what is bracteolate then? What is bracteolate? Bigger brother or younger brother? Understand. I'll show you a diagram and I'll teach you. Understand, students. If this is a flower right here, all of you look at this. This is the flower. This is the flower right here. At the base of the stalk, this is the stalk, also called as pedicel. At the base of the stalk, we have the bract. Between the bract and the flower, in the middle, sometimes we can find bracteolates. Bracteolates can be found between the bract and the flower. Bracteolate is the middle person. And students, when all of these bracts, when they come together, they make something called as epicalyx. A group of bracteolate is called as epicalyx. It is called as what, students? Epicalyx. Everyone, epicalyx in the chat. It is called as your epicalyx. A group of bracteolate is called as epicalyx. Students, how many of you know the meaning of epi? Epi means what, students? Epigynous condition. Epi means low, lower or low. Calyx, all of you know what is calyx. A flower will have calyx here, calyx. Below the calyx, epicalyx. All of you understanding? Calyx is present here near the flower. Epicalyx means what? Low calyx. Lower to the calyx is epicalyx present here. Okay. So a group of bracteolate is called as epicalyx. Epicalyx is found below the calyx. It is found below the calyx. Understand the wordplay. Crazy wordplay it is. Okay. Crazy wordplay. Okay. Epicalyx. Clear, all of you? See, the bracteolates arranged in a whorl are known as epicalyx. Actinomorphic arrangement, very important. Your zygomorphic in the case of your Fabaceae, actinomorphic here. Hermaphrodite means what, students? What is the meaning of hermaphrodite? Hermaphrodite means bisexual condition. Hypogynous, pentamerous. Now here, students, calyx 5, petals 5 sepals, 5. Very simple. Gamosepalous, polypetalous. Okay. Poly means free, gamma means fused. Okay. Now here, you might have seen this. This is a flower, right? Can you see here? This right here, if you can notice, I don't know if it's visible. Right here is the calyx. This right here is the calyx. Below the calyx, you might have seen there will be epicalyx here. Epicalyx. Try opening the, what is that? Hibiscus flower next time. Go find a hibiscus flower and try to dissect open it. See, you will find epicalyx there. Okay. Now what about androecium? What is so special about androecium here? The speciality about your Malvaceae is, students, have you ever observed a particular hibiscus flower? Do you see a single stamen or do you see a group of stamen there? If you have noticed hibiscus, do you see a group of stamen? See, a group of stamen here, many stamen, you can't even count them. So many stamen will be there. So here, the stamen is usually indefinite. It is usually indefinite stamen. Okay, indefinite stamen. Stamens are found arranged in a staminal tube. That is the staminal tube. You might have observed, right? All the stamens are arranged on a tube that is called as staminal tube here. The stamens are monoidalphous. All of you remember this monoidalphous condition. All the filaments are arranged into only a single bundle, monoidalphous. China rose example was there. China rose. Okay. Now, epipetalous condition. What is this epipetalous? New term, huh? New term for all of you. All of you know this. What is epipetalous condition? Students, can anyone tell me what is epipetalous condition? In epipetalous condition, what is happening, students? Stamen is fusing with petal. If stamen and petal fuse together, we end up getting epipetalous condition. Epipetalous condition is an example of Malvaceae. Stamen plus petal. Now, if you look at the gynoecium again, If you look at the gynoecium, it says 5 to indefinite carpels. So gynoecium also range from 2 to 5 or indefinite. Okay. Ovary is superior, both in the case of your previous Fabaceae, this family Malvaceae, superior ovary. And here it is multilocular. Sir, how can I remember this? Sir, how can I remember multilocular condition? Very difficult to remember. I'll show you a simple hack. The simple hack in biology is to look at the diagrams and understand. Students, tell me, how many locules do you see here, students? How many locules? Can you see? There are multiple locules right here on the board for you to understand. Can all of you see this? This each individual one, locule. So in the case of a lady's finger, which belongs to Malvaceae, we can find multilocular conditions. Sir, pistil and carpel are same? No, they are not same. I've always told you pistil and carpel are not same. Pistil is the entire thing, carpel is a part of pistil. You can have multicarpellary. You cannot have multipistil condition. Okay? Clear? This is a multilocular condition. Okay? So multilocular condition is there. Each locule bears 1 to many ovules. Axial placentation, remember that. Axial placentation. Now students, what is the economic importance? No, for fruit. The fruit is capsule or schizocarp. They'll never ask you this. Just remember this one. The seeds are usually buried in a hairy covering formed from the testa. So here the seeds will have a covering on top. Okay. Floral formula given here. This is your actinomorphic bisexual condition. Epicalyx. Calyx is going to be your 5 fused together. Corolla and androecium are fused. Epipetalous condition. Androecium is infinite. Gynoecium is superior 5 to infinity. Okay. Now students, I'll make you write some points like how I made you write for Fabaceae. Similarly, we'll write for Malvaceae also. But tell me students, in Malvaceae, did we find anything special in the case of stem? Did we find anything special? Yes, sir. The stem had something called as your mucilage sac. It had mucilage sac. Okay. Mucilage sac was present. Okay. Now, what about in the case of a stem, in the case of flower, which type of inflorescence did we find here? Inflorescence. The inflorescence here was actinomorphic inflorescence. Actinomorphic inflorescence. What about the stamen, students? What about the stamen? Did we have one stamen or two stamen? Tell me. What was the stamen count? The stamen count was what, students? Tell me. The stamen count was indefinite. Yes or no? The stamen was indefinite. Indefinite stamen was there. Indefinite stamen was there. Was there any peculiar way of arrangement of filaments? Were all the filaments arranged into one bundle or multiple bundles? Monoadelphous condition. Okay. We also studied about monoadelphous condition. Monoadelphous condition was there. Yes. Example was those, students. Example, China rose. China rose was the example. Or hibiscus. Hibiscus was the example. Now, students, in the case of your stamen, did we also observe any special condition again where something was fused? Something was fused here. That is, stamen and pistil were fused here. They were fused here. So, can I call them something called as epipetalous condition? Yes or no? All of you tell me. We can find here epipetalous condition. Epipetalous condition. That is basically what stamen is fusing with. Stamen is fusing with the petal. With the petal. Apart from that, what about the gynoecium, students? Anything special in the gynoecium? In the gynoecium? Yes. Number 5 to infinity. 5 to infinity was the gynoecium. Yes. What is the placentation? Axial placentation. So if you remember the following points, many of the questions can be solved with the help of the following points very easily. Very easily. Clear, all of you? Clear? Yes. And if you're able to understand till now, quickly smash that like button for the quick rapid revision of your plant families. Clear, all of you? Multicolor, exactly. Here the flowers are multicolor. You might have seen, right? Hibiscus is white color, red color, pink color, orange color. Color hibiscus you can see. Okay. Economic importance, you see. So students, cotton. Your cotton which you get, this t-shirt, cotton, jute, okra, lady's finger, cacao, chocolate, everything belongs to Malvaceae. Everything belongs to Malvaceae. Cotton, jute. Also your okra, that is lady's finger. Okay. Hibiscus. So all of these are different economic importance of your Malvaceae. And all of your away students, all the notes will be given on the Telegram channel. Baswaraj Sir Biology, if you go, all the notes will be available to you there. Clear? Done. So with that, students, your Malvaceae is also over. Yes, Malvaceae is also done. Any doubt till now? Quickly ask me, students. I look at the chat right now for exactly few minutes. So tell me. Any doubt, students, till now? Any doubt till now, students? Quickly in the chat. Any doubt till now? Clear? All clear till now? Yes? All clear? Amazing. Amazing. What glitch? Done. Yes. Okay. So if that is clear now, can we start with Brassicaceae now? Clear? Can we start? Beautiful. Let's start with your Brassicaceae now. Okay. Now all of you remember Brassicaceae to some extent. All of you remember the radish family, Brassicaceae family. All of you remember. Let's start. Okay. So quickly, show some love in the chat, students. Some green hearts in the chat. All of you show some green hearts in the chat, and we will go. Okay. Now, next is called as your Brassicaceae family. Okay. Distribution is cosmopolitan, means it can be found everywhere. But let me tell you what is more important here. The most important part about your Brassicaceae is the root modification. Now, students, do you remember? How many of you remember? Tell me. How many of you remember the root modification which we learned in the morphology chapter? The root modification where I told you about taproot modification. Examples, how many of you remember? How many of you remember the examples of taproot modification? Raise your hands and tell me the answer also. We learned about your taproot modification. We learned about turnip, carrot and radish. Turnip, carrot and radish. The radish which you learned, remember radish. The radish which you learned here, right, is right here. That is, Usually taproot is branched. The taproot modification, the fusiform root. Example is your Rapharus sativus. Okay, even Brassica rapa. All of them are basically your taproot modification, which we eat nicely. Okay, which we eat nicely later on in the salad. Okay, now here stem is herbaceous, erect or cylindrical. All this is normal. Okay, all this is normal. Apart from the, let me tell you what is more important here. Exstipulate condition. It means the stipules are absent here. Stipules are absent. Okay, alternate phyllotaxy, simple flower, branched. Inflorescence is going to be racemose type of inflorescence. Flower, most of the flowers are ebractate. Very important line again. That is, the bract is completely absent in the case of your Brassicaceae. Bract is absent. Okay. Pedicellate. Okay, pedicel is present. Regular actinomorphic. Okay, hermaphrodite, bisexual condition, complete. Cruciform. Now, what is this cruciform corolla? Now, understand one special term here. This particular family is called as Brassicaceae or Cruciferaceae. Now, you might ask me, sir. You might ask me, sir, why is it called as Cruciferaceae? Is there a separate reason for it? Yes, there is a reason. The reason it is called as Cruciferaceae is because the corolla here is in cruciform corolla. Let me show you. Let me show you, all of you. Let me show you. What is cruciform corolla? If you look at the different types of flowers under cruciform corolla, there are 4 petals and they are in the form of a cross. They are in a form of a cross. That is called as a cruciform corolla. That is called as cruciform corolla, which is found in the case of your Brassicaceae. Brassicaceae. Friends, how many of you have observed any of the following? This is your papilionaceous, which we learned that time. Standard wing and keel. Standard wing and keel. You might have observed this, right? The funnel form or also your sour form. You might have observed these 2 types in the roadside. Have you observed, any one of you have observed this in the roadside? You might have observed. This also is very famous. Campanulate is also very famous, also called as bell shape. Very famous. Even tubulate is very famous. Very common this is. Tubulate is also very common. Chrysanthemum is also, it's very normal. It's very normal. All these are very common ones. This stellate, yeah, ursulate, all of these are little, labiate also is little uncommon. Labiate also is little uncommon. Okay. See students, sometimes you don't even realize there are so many different types of flowers. You might think flower isn't simple flower, but it is not. If you learn from a botanist, you will understand all this, because there is so much of care given to every single flower and every single petal there. Okay, this is your different types of flowers. Okay, now here calyx is called as your polyseparous. Very common, they'll not ask you all this. 2 plus 2, imbricate estivation. Imbricate estivation. Now here I already told you corolla is cruciform corolla. Cruciform corolla. Now here students, where will the question come from? The question will come from a concept called as the androecium here. See, in the case of your Malvaceae, monodalphous. In the case of Fabaceae, diadalphous. But right now, it is said to be tetradynamous. What is this tetradynamous? Very simple to understand. Listen to me. The meaning of tetradynamous. In tetradynamous condition, there are in total of 6 stamens. That is, in tetradynamous condition, there is 2 plus 4 arrangement. Tetradynamous is 2 plus 4 arrangement. Understand. Here we have 1 stamen, 1 more stamen, 1 more stamen. Here is 1. Here we have 1 more stamen here, and we have 1 more smaller one here. Anther. Let's draw the anther lobes. Anther lobes are in. Anther lobes are in. Tell me students, here we have 2 shorter on the outside. That is short stamen on outside. On outside. Can you see here? Outside. That is 2 here. And 4 on the inside. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 long ones on the inside. This is a concept called as tetradynamous condition, also called as your 2 plus 4 arrangement. It is also called as what, students? 2 plus 4 arrangement. Okay, students, all of you understood? It is called as your 2 plus 4 arrangement. Tetradynamous condition. Okay. It is found in the case of your Brassicaceae. Now, what about gynoecium here? Students, gynoecium, understand one special concept again I'll teach you. Gynoecium will teach you one more thing special here, understand. It consists of two carpels, bicarpellary and syncarpous condition. But students, here unilocular ovary is there. Initially what happens is, initially it is unilocular. The ovary is initially unilocular. But eventually what happens? The unilocular becomes bilocular. What is happening here is, the unilocular ovary is becoming bilocular. How is it possible? Because there is a formation of a false septum here. There is a formation of a false septum called as replum. There is a formation of false septum here called as replum. It is called as replum here. False septum called as replum formation is happening. And you might have studied this under parietal placentation. Under parietal placentation, you might have studied this. There is a formation of false septum here. False septum. Okay. See here. Parietal placentation. Okay. Parietal placentation. Fruit is called as siliqua, siliquilla. They'll not ask you this. Okay. Now, this is the fruit actually. This is the fruit. You might have seen this right in the roadside. On the roadside, you might have seen this long fruit-like structures which you open and see. Okay. Which you open and see. Okay. Okay. False septum. Floral formula is very simple again. Actinomorphic we saw here. Bisexual condition. Bisexual condition. Calyx was 2 plus 2. Very free. Corolla was what? 4. Corolla was 4. Andrecium was tetradynamous condition. 2 plus 4. Gynoecium was superior and fused. Bicarpellary condition. Bicarpellary condition. Bicarpellary. Okay. Bicarpellary syncarpous. Now again, I will make you write down some points. Write down all of you. See, food all of you know. Cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, turnip, radish. All of them belong to your Brassicaceae. Mustard plant for oil, Brassicaceae family. Medicine also. Lepidium sativum. Medicine itself. The students write down the first few things here about your Brassicaceae, also called as Cruciferaceae. Now students, did we observe anything special in the roots here? In the roots, did we observe anything special here? Yes. The roots showed something called as modification here. Modification. Yes or no? The roots showed modification here. That is taproot modification. Taproot modification. Taproot modification was seen here. Taproot modification. Okay. How was the inflorescence? Inflorescence was racemose. Inflorescence was racemose here. It was racemose inflorescence. Racemose inflorescence. Okay. How was the flower, students? One special thing I told you. Flower was E-bracted here. Yes or no? Remember? E-bracted. See students, in examination, they will ask you this small anomalies or changes that they will ask you. Now, it was all flower was also actinomorphic. Actinomorphic. Bisexual. Bisexual. Okay. Now students, anything special in andrecium? In andrecium, what we saw here? In andrecium, did we see the tetradynamous condition here? Yes or no? Tetradynamous condition, that is 2 plus 4 arrangement. Yes. In the case of gynoecium, what we observe anything special? In gynoecium, did we observe something called as bilocular condition? That is formation of false septum. Formation of false septum called as replum. Also called as your what is that? If it is found in your parietal placentation, So in examination, they can ask you all these anomalies. All these anomalies can be asked in your examination. That is it for your Brassicaceae. Done, students? Done. Brassicaceae is done and done. That's all. Students, was it easy? Hello Mona, welcome to the class. Was it easy? See, I will tell you students, what you need to do is, after this class today only, after this class, description if you go, there is a link. Click on the link, download the questions. Solve all the questions. Okay, solve all the questions. 30 questions are there. If you want more, I'll give you more. There are 30 questions given in the description. Download it today only, daily DPP. I am going to give you daily DPP from now onwards. After every single class of mine, you'll get some questions. You will get some questions. You have to do some questions because you have hardly few days left for the examination. Okay. Now, after this, I want you to make your own notes from these notes. Make a large tabular column, write down the plant families, and then write down the special categories about them. That is what you need to do every single day today. Okay. Clear all of you? Shoot the doubts. I'm looking at the doubts. Now students, we come to the last two topics. One is called as your Compositae, and after this we have the Gramineae, also called as Poaceae. There are only two things left. Okay. So can we start? Next class onwards, I'll give you 50 questions. Don't worry. Next class onwards, I'll make it to 50 questions. If you solve, only if you're serious, I will know, students. See, I have made sure there is a proper link there. I will know who is downloading. and who is not downloading also. So if you're a serious students, then only download it. Download the questions, solve the questions. And if you want the answer key I will upload in the Telegram channel. Okay. So don't worry. Okay. So students, everyone, sunflower in the chat today. Everyone, sunflower in the chat. Why? Because of the sunflower family. Go. All of you. Okay. 50 questions. Huh? Okay. I'll give you 50 questions. First, all of you quickly smash your like button. All of you right now. Quickly smash that like button right now. Okay. And we'll continue with the Compositae now. Can we start? All of you. Ravindrani, wait. Don't start solving the questions. Whoa. Don't start solving the questions now only. Wait for the class to get over. Okay. Wait for the class to get over. Then you solve the questions. Now only you start solving means what should you do? Okay. Now students. Now. Okay. Now. Let's start with a favorite family of mine called as Compositae. Why? Because I love sunflowers. I love helianthus. Right? This is one of my favorite families, and also one of those families which looks something, but it is something. Now students, I'll tell you a line. Listen to me very carefully. How many of you think sunflower is a flower? Raise your hands. How many of you think sunflower is a flower? Raise your hands. If you think sunflower is a flower, raise your hands. Let's see how many of you know. Do you think sunflower is a flower? If yes, raise your hands. Just raise your hands if you think sunflower is a flower. Quickly. Everyone, quickly. Do you think sunflower is a flower? It is not. Sunflower is an inflorescence. It is not a flower. If you are a botanist, if you are my student, I will tell you should be able to tell me why. Let me also, if you do not know still, I will tell you. Students, let's go to sunflower now. This right here, student, this sunflower right here is not a flower. This sunflower right here is a group of flowers. It is a group of flowers, also called as your inflorescence. For example, do you see this tiny tubular structures in the middle? Each one is a flower. This also is a separate flower. Individual one is a flower here. See here, can you see this individual? It is not a petal here. This is a flower. One more flower. Each and every single one of them is a separate flower. Many flowers are there. All the flowers are joined together in a group. That group is called as sunflower. The group is called as sunflower. Amazing, no? That's what. Now here, let's start, students. This will come. This is the best part. Okay, I will save it. Okay. Now here again, the first line is very important. Here. Okay. The Compositae is the largest family of angiosperms, the most important line. It is the largest family of your angiosperms, of flowering plants. Okay, containing about 1,900 genera and probably 32,000 species. 32,000 species are there in your in your in your Compositae or Asteraceae. Okay, Compositae or Asteraceae. Okay. Now here I'll tell you what is important to read. Inflorescence. Okay. How many of you seen all these flowers? Raise your hands. How many of you seen all these flowers? You might have seen, no, in the wedding time. If you go to a wedding, in the wedding hall, you keep plucking it from there now. That is called as helianthus. It is called as helianthus. Helianthus. How many of you seen this? Students, raise your hands. How many of you seen this? See, as a kid, I used to love playing with that. Let me tell you how. See, if you're walking on the road, for example, I'm walking on the road. Okay, I'm walking on the road right now, and in the corner of the road, I will see this plant. Corner of the road, I will see this plant, and I will pluck it. I'll pluck it. What do I do next? I take the head of this and I pop it open. That is called as Coca-Cola. That is called as Coca-Cola bottle opening. Okay, so I call it Coca-Cola plant. Okay, so this is called as Tridax. It is called as Tridax. Tridax. I should love playing with that. Love playing with Tridax. Okay. Now, students, here this is very simple, students. Erect, fibrous, cylindrical, and somewhat hairy. You might have observed. If you take a helianthus stem or sunflower stem, the stem is a little hairy, no? Like small, tiny hair-like particles are present on the stem. That is called as trichomes. That is called as trichomes. Okay. The leaves are usually alternate, sometimes opposite, or rarely whorled. Now, what is more important here is to understand inflorescence. This is the most important part here, the inflorescence. The inflorescence here is called as head or capitulum. Head or cappuccino. Not cappuccino, capitulum. Okay. Head or capitulum. That is your inflorescence here. So, students, this right here is not a flower. This here is not a flower. This right here is a inflorescence. This right here is a inflorescence. Okay. So with that, students, if you look at the inflorescence, there are actually two types of flowers here. If you see the inflorescence, you will find two types of flowers here. Can you see this one here? This is called as your ray floret. It is called as ray floret. This is called as ray floret. The outer part is here, right? It's called as ray floret. Ray floret. Now, what about present in the middle? The middle part is called as your disc floret. It is called as what? Disc floret here. Disc flower or disc floret. So, we have ray floret on the outside. The main function of ray florets is to attract pollinators. And I'll tell you, students, ray florets is only good for pollinators. Only attracting only. Why? Because it is unisexual. Because this is unisexual. It can't even reproduce. So the only function of ray florets is to attract the pollinators. It can't do anything. But disc floret is bisexual. Disc floret is bisexual in nature. See here, students. Okay. So students, ready for the difference? Ready to learn the difference now? Ready? Yes. Difference between your ray floret and disc floret. Quickly tell me in the chat, are you ready? Ready, all of you? I forgot to get my water today, students. I forgot to get my wallet. Water. Okay, water wallet. Okay. So let's start with first similarity. I'll tell you similarity. Both of them are sessile. The meaning of sessile is that there is no stalk. There is no stalk here. There's no stalk. The stalk which you see, the big one, right? This one. This stalk you see right in the sunflower. This is peduncle. That is the stalk of the inflorescence. But the flowers here inside do not have a stalk. They do not have a stalk here in the inside. Okay. Now, next thing here is ray florets are zygomorphic while your disc florets are actinomorphic. Understand the difference. See, this right here is your ray floret. This right here is a ray floret. This right here is a disc floret. Imagine. Okay. Now, can I cut this flower in this angle? Yes, I can cut. But can I cut in this plane? Not possible. Here we will get smaller, he'll get very larger. So we cannot cut it in multiple plane. So this becomes zygomorphic. Zygomorphic. Now what about disc floret? Any plane. Cut in any plane, it'll get cut. That's why this is actinomorphic. It is actinomorphic. Okay. So understand all of you. Here we have zygomorphic, actinomorphic. I told you only function is attraction. So unisexual. Complete hermaphrodite means bisexual. Yes or no? Means bisexual here. Bisexual condition. Yes, bisexual condition. Done. Okay. Bractate. Both are bractate mostly. Okay. Okay. Epigynous condition. Epigynous condition. Students, tell me in the chat. Epigynous condition. Is it superior ovary or inferior ovary or half inferior? I'm forgetting, students. I'm a little forgetful today. I'm not able to remember. Is epigynous condition superior ovary or is it inferior ovary or is it half inferior ovary? Tell me in the chat quickly. Tell me in the chat, all of you. Quickly in the chat, all of you. Quickly, everyone. Quickly. Superior, epigynous. Superior is hypogynous, no? Inferior ovary. We have the inferior ovary here. Inferior ovary. Yes. Inferior ovary. Okay. Now, students, question can come from here only. Question can come from here only. If the question does not come from here, I am very sure the question will come from the calyx here. Why? Because the calyx here is completely modded. It means the calyx here is completely modified calyx. Modified calyx. Now, students, I'll ask you one simple question now. Okay, ready? Tell me, how many of you brush in the morning? Raise your hands. Raise your hands quickly. How many of you brush in the morning? You're like, okay, I have to brush. I will brush. Okay, it's a very good habit to brush in the morning and night. You like brush. Students, when you're brushing, you use a brush. Have you seen on the brush there is something called as bristles? On the brush, do you find bristles? They're small plastic thread-like structure. Those are called as bristles. Your calyx here, the calyx in the case of Asteraceae, is bristle-like. See this? The entire calyx is bristle-like. Can you see? Entire calyx is bristle-like. And the calyx here is called as what? The calyx here is called as pappus. It's called as pappus, not papu or papa. It is called as pappus. It is called, I'll drink. It is called as pappus. Okay, it is called as pappus. Sometimes the calyx is modified to large number of bristles or hair-like structure called as pappus. Okay. Now corolla here is say almost same. Penta 5, gamopetalous, that is united. Tubular or lobed here. Actinomorphic, zygomorphic. Okay. Estivation, valvate estivation. Okay. Almost same. But here it is unisexual. So androecium is absent here. Androecium is present here. Stamens are 5. Epipetalous condition again. Students, tell me what is epipetalous? What is this epipetalous condition? Petal plus stamen, brush. That is stamen plus petal. Epipetalous condition. Then we have something called as syngenesious condition. Very important concept. How many of you know what is syngenesious? Raise your hands. If you do not know, I'll tell you. Okay. It is there. Could you tell me? Could you tell me? All of you know syngenesious? You know syngenesious? If you do not know, I'll teach you. Don't worry. I'm here. No. Why fear? See. In syngenesious condition, what happens is, this is your filament. This is the filament. On top of the filament, we have the anther. Okay. This is the filament. Here I have the anther. Entire thing is called a stamen. Now, what happens in the case of syngenesious condition? In the case of syngenesious condition, In the case of syngenesious condition, only the anthers are fused. Only the anthers are fused. But the filaments are going to be free. The filaments are going to be free here. That is called as syngenesious condition. Only the anther lobes are fusing. The filaments are going to be free. The filaments are completely free here. That is called as syngenesious condition. And it is found in the case of your Aspiraceae, also called as Compositae. Also called as Compositae. Okay. Clear all of you? Gynoecium, carpels 2, bicarpellary, syncarpus, ovaries inferior. All of you already told you. Inferior, epigynous condition. Epigynous condition. Unilocular containing a single anatropous ovule, basal placentation. That is also very important. Basal placentation is here. If you see the difference here, bractate, actinomorphic. This is going to be your zygomorphic, actinomorphic, bisexual, unisexual most of the cases, pappus. Here we have your epipetalous condition. Here we do not have any such. Okay. Andrecium is 0 here. Andrecium is present. Gynoecium inferior. Bicarpellary syncarpus. Bicarpellary syncarpus. You can see here. Here also bicarpellary syncarpus condition. Okay. Students, let me tell you one more thing today only. Okay. You might see all this. You might understand all this. See, this is your student. This is an image I've taken from a book, from a proper higher level book. Okay, not from your NCERT or anything. Can you see? This is the pappus, sepals. Calyx is modified into pappus right here. You might have seen the students. How many of you seen pappus? When you try to open some flowers, do you see gather flower feathery structure? You might have seen, right? The feather structure. That is called as pappus. Okay. This is a floral diagram. This is the floral diagram right here. Okay. Now, students, economic food, leaves of Lactua sativa. What is this? Lactua sativa. What is this, students? It is present in your burger. It is present in your burger. Tell me, what is this? It is present in the burger. You eat no nice McDonald's, KFC, Burger King. The green color they add no in burger. What is that, students? Tell me. Anyone quickly? Lettuce. That is your lettuce here. Okay. Vegetable, sunflower oil. Okay. Ornamentation, many of them are used in ornamentations, used in your gardens, used in weddings, everywhere. Ornamentation. Chrysanthemum is one of the favorite ones, famous ones, which they use also in pujas. Chrysanthemums. Okay. So what do we learn here, students? We learned it is the largest family. It is the largest family. Yes. Inflorescence. Anything special in inflorescence, students? Inflorescence we learned about here. Ray flower and disc flower. Ray flower is going to be unisexual, zygomorphic. Disc flower is going to be actinomorphic, as well as bisexual. We also found here pappus. That is basically the calyx. Calyx is called as the pappus here. Then we also found here epigynous condition. That is inferior ovary. Students, let me tell you, no one will teach you this detail. You go try finding anywhere, students. No one will teach you such detailed point to point about families. Why? Because when I was studying few years back botany, I remember the importance of reading families. Right now you study what? 5 families. I studied around 52 plant families. As a botanist, I had to study 52 different plant families in one exam. One paper I had 100 marks paper for 52 families. So I know the importance of going detailed, and I've always done the same thing, detailed lecture. So that's why also in the plant families, I could have done this entire thing in what, half an hour. I could have made you read the floral formula and made you happy and sent back home. That is not how you do it. As a botanist, I will feel ashamed if I don't teach in detail for all of this. That is why I'm going in detail for every single thing. It could be the pappus, it could be the disc floret, ray florets, entire each and every detail we are going. Okay. Now, with that, we finish the fourth family. With that, we finish the fourth family is done and dusted. Done and dusted. And let me tell you, students, if you're watching this lecture for the very first time, and if you're studying the plant families for the very first time, this can become difficult for you. Let me tell you honestly. Understanding all the following points without learning the morphology, this particular session can become little difficult. But let me tell you, students, if you watch my lecture on morphology, and if you watch this lecture one more time while making your own notes, then it will become easy. It will become easy. Because all of these concepts are a little advanced. Plant families, learning plant families requires a little of skill and remembering things also. So I would advise each and every one of you to at least watch this lecture 2 times. And you'll get a better understanding of all the plant families. Cool? Yes? Solanaceae is removed. Solanaceae is removed from the syllabus, don't worry. Solanaceae is removed from your syllabus. Okay? So with that, can we start the last topic for today's class? Can we start? The last topic, that is called as your Gramineae, also called as your monocot, also called as your Poaceae family. Poaceae family. Can we start? Can we start, students? Yes? Yes? Okay. The first thing here, students, distribution. All of you know members, grasses, cereals, millets, everything belong to your Gramineae. Let me tell you, students, it could be your Triticum aestivum, that is your wheat, rice, Oryza sativa, barley, zea maize, your millet, oats, every single thing which you eat, students, in India, most of the things in India, all the veg food, all of this belongs to your Gramineae. All of this belongs to Gramineae, students, Gramineae. Remember that. Okay, belongs to Gramineae. Okay. Now here let me tell you the stem here. The stem may be erect, prostrate, or even creeping here. Here it is. Fistular means completely hollow in nature, rarely solid. Okay. Now here the aerial stem. The aerial stem is called as column here. The aerial stem is called as your column. Okay. So aerial stem found in this family is called as column here. Okay. Aerial stem is called as column here. Aerial stem. Remember that. Aerial stem. Okay. Now here leaves, in most of the family members, foliage leaves can easily be divided into 2 parts, that is sheath and all of you know monocot leaf. That right. Leafing sheath base can be seen here. That is a leaf base will partially or fully cover the leaf only. The leaf base will cover the leaf only, or the stem. It will completely cover the stem itself. That is called as leafing sheath base. Leafing sheath base, where the leaf base is covering the stem. Okay, stem is covered. You might have seen in the case of plants, right? You might have seen in the case of all this grasses. Parallel venation. Can you see here, students? This point right here. This point right here. Can you see here? This point right here. I don't think so. You can see here. You can see here, right here, that your leafing sheath base is observed here. Leafing sheath base is observed here. Okay. Now, in this Poaceae, let me tell you, in Poaceae, the most difficult thing to understand is the inflorescence. If you learn the inflorescence of Poaceae, you are really smart. Let me tell you now only. And I will teach it to you right now. Let's see how many of you understand the inflorescence here. Because if you think the inflorescence of your Asteraceae was difficult, this is even more advanced. This is even more advanced here. Ready, all of you? Ready? Okay. Tell me, how many of you seen this in real life? How many of you seen this in real life? Raise your hands. How many of you seen this in real life, students? You might have seen this, right? You might have seen this. It's called a spike. It is called as a spike. It is the inflorescence of your rice, maize, and everything. It's called as a spike. Spike. Okay. So let's draw a spike, all of you. Let's draw a spike. Okay. Let's draw a spike here and understand what is the inflorescence here. Okay. Let me draw it for you. Let me choose a color. Here we'll draw a spike. Okay. Here we have, so students, all of you draw this also. This is your on. This is a spike. This right here is a spike. This is an inflorescence. Okay. Inflorescence is called a spike. I can see this individual one. This individual, each one of them is called as a spikelet. It is called as a spikelet. It is called as a spikelet. It is called as a spikelet. Now let's zoom into a spikelet, friends. Let's zoom into a spikelet. Let's zoom into a spikelet now. Let's zoom into a spikelet. This particular spikelet, students, individual spikelet. This individual spikelet has something called as 4 different bracts. Here we have a upper bract and a lower bract. These 2 bracts are said to be infertile. They are infertile, and these 2 bracts are called as glumes. This is the upper glume. It is called as your upper glume. Detailed, student, detailed. Upper glume, and this is called as what? Lower glume. Lower glume. These 2 are infertile. Let me tell you, infertile again. I'm telling you, they're infertile. Infertile. Okay. Now on the top again we have 2 bracts. 2 bracts. Upper bract and lower bract. Upper bract and lower bract. And students, all of this is packed where? All of this is packed in one spikelet. In one spikelet. Entire thing is a spike. In one spikelet, this is then one spikelet. Okay, imagine. There's crazy packaging here. This is called as lemma. It's called as upper lemma. Upper lemma, and this is called as lower lemma. Upper lemma and lower lemma. Okay. Now upper lemma and lower lemma also has a special structure around it called as palea. On the top it has a structure called as palea. It's called as palea. It's called as palea. So we have upper glume, lower glume, upper lemma, lower lemma, and we have palea. And we have the palea right here. Okay, I understand all of you. Now between the upper loom, between the upper lemma and the palea, in the middle we can see the flower usually. We can see the flower right in the middle here. Right in the middle we can see the flower here. Okay, flower. Right here in the middle we can see the flower, the stigma, feathery stigma, and the ovary. Stigma and this is the stigma, and we have the ovaries. We have the ovary also here. Okay, ovary, and we also have anthers coming from bottom. Anthers coming from here. So flower is present where? The flower is present between upper lemma and palea. In the middle gap the flower is present, and this flower, see, what will happen is this palea and lemma can completely fuse off. If they fuse completely, the flower cannot open. So to make sure the palea and lemma, they don't close together, there's a special structure here which is making sure it doesn't close. That is called as lodicule. This right here is called as lodicule. It's called as lodicules. Lodicules. This is a structure. The entire thing is called as a flowering unit. It is called as a flowering unit. flowering unit. And it is present where? Inside one spikelet. Inside each spikelet we can find it inside. And imagine in the entire spikes, each and every spikelet, such flowers are present. Here also we can see a flower. That is the beauty of packaging of your flowers. Friends, download these notes and you're good to go. Okay. Flower is sessile, bractate. Bracts are receptacles, lemma and palea, I told you. Hermaphrodite or unisexual. Zygomorphic, hypokynous condition. Okay. No. Androecium, usually the main questions will come from where? The main question will come from the inflorescence in Poaceae or economic importance or the economic importance. If you're studying all this for the very first time, I'm telling you again, it can become overwhelming. So revise and revise and revise and then learn this topic again. Okay. And let me tell you, students, if you go anywhere, they will never teach you all this very detailed. No one goes this detailed anywhere. Okay. Usually 3 stamens, usually 3 to 6 stamens can be seen here. Okay. Gynoecium, 1 carpellary, monocarpellary. So the pistil is tricarpellary, but only 1 carpellary is functional. So there can be tricarpellary. There can be tricarpellary, but only 1 will be functional there. One will be functional. Remaining 2 will be non-functional. Only 1 will be functional. Okay. So uniloculary, monocarpellary. Okay. Superior single ovule. Okay. Now see here. Fruit is usually called as caryopsis, which you eat. Caryopsis. Seed is endospermic, which endosperm is present here. Present here. See, zygomorph. This is basically your zygomorphic, bisexual. Perianth is usually seen here. Lodicules can be present there. Androecium is 3 or 2, 6. Gynoecium is going to be superior, monocarpellary. Monocarpellary. Okay. This is a floral diagram given here. Floral diagram. Lodicules, which are making sure they don't crush it out. This is your entire stamen. And palea, can you see palea is here? Palea is there, which is making sure on the top. Okay. So students, with that, today's class is over. Entire revision is over, students. Entire revision is over. Okay. So quickly tell me in the chat, how was today's class? Quickly, everyone. Let me know in the chat how was the class. Quickly, everyone. Quickly. Let me tell you, let me show you something one more. One second, students. Yes. If you go to description of today's video, if you go to the, first of all, quickly smash that like button. If you go to the description of today's video right here, okay, if you go to description right here, you will see new plant families DPP. DPP is already given here. So all you need to do is click on the DPP and solve the questions today only. But apart from that, students, you are aware. All of you are aware, right? All of you are aware the NEET Express has started. Train is going already. Let me tell you, the train has left 0 station and it is going to reach station 1 very, very soon. If you want to restart your preparation, if you think your preparation is not correct right now, you need a proper guidance in the last moment, and if you need a proper crash course which will make you learn in detail, this is it. Last chance from our side, which we are going to be making sure which you get on the paid platform. That is your NEET Express 1.0. Live classes you will get every single day. Online test, every single week test will be there. Practice pedagogy, that is, you will get unlimited questions. You cannot even cry later on that you don't have enough questions. Okay, topic recorded videos. Okay, so that is all you're getting. This all you're getting in the prime for 2999, students. Let me tell you again one more time. This is the last chance for the restarting purpose. See, those of you preparing from very long time, well and good. But if you want to restart your preparation, you're like, sir, I need a proper crash course. Last 4 months is very good, very important for me. I cannot waste my time without a proper timetable. Then this is the go, student. This is the go. I've been telling you from a very long time. Question practice is very important. You will get all India test series for free in this. It is going to be there, right? So this is your prime. In pro, you'll be getting hard books. You'll get hard copies books. And in your NEET expert, that is pro version. In pro version, you will get something called as unlimited doubt app. That is a separate application where you can ask doubts anytime in the day or night. Keep asking questions. They'll keep giving you reply. Okay. So that's it for today's class, students. Thank you so much. And I will see you in the next session. Let me know in the chat, students, which is the next session which you want, and I'll make it happen. Okay. So thank you so much. Bye-bye. Take care, all of you. Have a great day ahead. Okay. Sleep well, revise, solve the questions, and you're good to go. Okay. So bye-bye. Take care, all of you. I'll see you in the next session. Let me know in the comment section how was today's session. Do not forget to comment down.